The desert sun beat down on the city of Ankh. Ankh was a city of gold and grandeur. It was a jewel in the desert. Pharaoh Senhuti ruled with wisdom and strength. His heart beat with the rhythm of his people. He was their shepherd and they were his flock. Senhuti was a young man, but his eyes held the wisdom of ages. He had faced many challenges in his short reign. Each time he emerged stronger, his resolve tempered like steel in a blacksmith's forge. He trusted his instincts, honed by years of training. But above all, he loved his people. Their well-being was his priority, their safety his obsession. Senhuti knew the burden of his lineage. He was the latest in a long line of pharaohs. Their blood ran thick with the power of the ancient gods. He carried their legacy in his heart. He knew he would do anything to protect his people, even face the unknown with courage and a steady hand. In the heart of Ankh, beneath the watchful gaze of the Sphinx, lay a secret. It was a secret passed down through generations of pharaohs. It was the legend of the blue olive. The blue olive was more than just a dagger. It was forged in the heart of a dying star. Its blade was celestial metal, sharper than time itself. The handle was carved from the oldest olive tree in the world. It was said to be blessed by the tears of Isis. The blue olive was not just a weapon, it was a key. The dagger had the power to unlock the realm of eternity. This realm was a place beyond the veil of life and death. It was a place where the spirits of great pharaohs resided. Legend had it that the blue olive could only be wielded by a pharaoh. He must be a pharaoh with a heart as pure as the desert stars. He must be a pharaoh who was chosen by the dagger itself. One night the pharaoh was restless. A strange energy crackled in the air. It felt like the desert wind whispering secrets through the palace walls. Drawn by an unknown force, Senhuti found himself standing before the vault. It was the vault where the blue olive was kept. The heavy stone door seemed to pulse with an inner light. Senhuti's hand trembled as he reached for the lock. He felt a surge of energy coursing through his veins. The lock clicked open as if welcoming his touch. Bathing the room in eerie light, the blue olive rested on a pedestal. It pulsed with an energy that mirrored the unease in Senhuti's heart. He felt a magnetic pull towards the weapon. As he grasped the handle, the dagger hummed, and Senhuti was engulfed in a blinding light. When the light subsided, Senhuti felt a strange connection to the dagger. It was as if it were an extension of himself, its power resonating with his own. He knew then that he had been chosen. He was the latest in the line of pharaohs deemed worthy to wield the blue olive. The weight of responsibility pressed down on Senhuti. He knew that with the blue olive came a heavy burden. He sought guidance in the silence of his chamber. Closing his eyes, he held the dagger aloft, seeking answers in its celestial light. The air crackled, a vision filled his mind. He saw Ankh consumed by flames. Its magnificent buildings crumbled into dust. He saw his people running in terror as the sky rained fire. Panic gripped his heart. The vision was so real, the heat of the flames almost tangible. What was this impending doom? What could possibly threaten his mighty city? His mind raced, searching for answers. He knew he couldn't ignore this warning. Section 5. The Whisper of Amun. Then a voice, deep and resonant, filled the chamber. It was Amun, the king of the gods, speaking directly to his heart. Amun told him that a great evil was slumbering. It was an evil that threatened to consume not only Ankh, but the entire world. Amun spoke of a prophecy. It foretold of a pharaoh who would wield the blue olive, a pharaoh who would be tested like no other. Only by proving his worthiness could he defeat the coming darkness. "Seek the guidance of your ancestors in the realm of eternity," boomed Amun's voice, echoing in the chamber. "Only they hold the key to defeating the coming darkness. Only then will you find the strength to save your people." Senhuti listened, a cold fear gripping his heart. He knew what he had to do. He had to journey to the realm of eternity. He had to seek the wisdom of his ancestors. The fate of Ankh rested on his shoulders. He would not fail his people. Section 6. The Test of Deception. To reach the realm of eternity, Senhuti had to pass 3 trials. The trials were set by Amun to test his worthiness. The first test lay deep within the Temple of 1,000 Reflections. The temple was a labyrinth of mirrors, each reflecting a different version of reality. The air hummed with a disorienting energy. Senhuti knew that one wrong step could trap him in this illusionary world forever. As he ventured deeper into the labyrinth, a figure emerged from the shimmering surfaces. It was his closest advisor, his friend Menes. Menes pleaded with Senhuti to turn back, his voice laced with fear and urgency. "The trials are too dangerous," Menes implored, his voice echoing through the mirrored halls. "The realm of eternity is not meant for the living. Turn back while you still can." Doubt gnawed at Senhuti's resolve. He trusted Menes implicitly, but something felt amiss. The blue olive hummed with a faint energy, warning him of deception. Section 7. The Valley of Shadows. The second trial awaited him in the desolate Valley of Shadows. The air was thick with the whispers of forgotten souls. They reached out to him, their touch like icy claws on his skin. The ground beneath his feet was littered with the bones of those who had failed the trials before him. Their hollow eyes stared up at him, a stark reminder of the peril he faced. Fear threatened to consume him, but Senhuti clung to his purpose. Amun's words echoed in his mind. Only the brave can face their fears. He knew he could not let fear paralyze him. He had to push forward for the sake of his people. The whispering shadows took on familiar forms, twisting into the faces of his loved ones. They pleaded with him to turn back, their voices filled with pain and regret. But Senhuti held the blue olive aloft. Its light cut through the darkness, revealing the spirits for what they truly were: illusions, phantoms feeding on his fear. Section 8. The Test of Courage. With a roar, Senhuti charged into the heart of the Valley of Shadows. He brandished the blue olive, its celestial metal cleaving through the ethereal forms of his tormentors. The air crackled with energy as he fought his way through the darkness. As the last of the whispering shadows dissipated, a deafening silence descended upon the valley. The air, thick with fear only moments before, now felt lighter, as if a great weight had been lifted. Senhuti stood alone, his body trembling with exhaustion, but his spirit unbroken. He had faced his fears and emerged victorious. He had proven his courage in the face of unimaginable terror. He looked back at the path he had forged through the valley. He knew that the trials had changed him. He emerged stronger, tempered by the fires of fear and doubt. Section 9. The Test of a Pure Heart. The final test awaited him at the very gates of the realm of eternity. Before him stood a chasm of unimaginable depth. It pulsed with raw energy, a swirling vortex of light and shadow. A single narrow bridge, formed from the intertwined bodies of serpents, arched precariously over the chasm. Their scales shimmered with an unnatural light, their eyes burning with ancient knowledge. As Senhuti approached the bridge, doubt gnawed at his resolve. What lay beyond this point? Was he truly worthy of entering the realm of eternity? Could he face the spirits of his ancestors with a clear conscience? He hesitated, the weight of his decision pressing down on him. He looked down at the blue olive, its surface reflecting his own conflicted face. In that reflection, he saw not only his fear, but also his unwavering determination. Closing his eyes, Senhuti took a deep breath and stepped onto the serpent bridge. A jolt of energy surged through his body. He realized this was not a test of physical strength, but a test of spirit. Section 10. The Realm of Eternity. The serpent bridge dissolved beneath his feet. Senhuti plummeted into the swirling vortex of the chasm. He braced himself for oblivion, but instead he found himself standing in a vast hall. Pillars of starlight stretched endlessly into a sky ablaze with 1,000 suns. Before him stood a council of figures. They were as ancient and imposing as time itself. Their eyes blazed with wisdom and power. These were his ancestors, the pharaohs of legend. They had ruled Ankh with wisdom and courage. Now they had assembled in this timeless realm to pass judgment on their descendant. The blue olive pulsed with warmth, bathing the hall in its celestial light. As one, the pharaohs turned their gaze upon Senhuti. Their silence was heavier than any words. Section 11. The Legacy of Senhuti. Senhuti stood tall, meeting their gaze with unwavering respect. He had passed the trials, faced his fears, and proven his worthiness. He had come seeking their guidance, their wisdom to save his people. The pharaohs, satisfied, revealed the secrets to defeating the ancient evil. They gifted him the map of the sacred Nile. This map held the key to unlocking the powers hidden within the Nile itself. Returning to Ankh, Senhuti rallied his people. He led them to victory against the forces of darkness. With the knowledge bestowed upon him by his ancestors, he ushered in a golden age of peace and prosperity. Generations later, the tale of Senhuti's courage and his journey into the realm of eternity lived on. It became a beacon of hope, a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit. Senhuti's name became synonymous with wisdom, his reign a shining example of leadership. His legacy, etched in stone and whispered on the wind, served as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, a single heart, pure and courageous, can banish the shadows and illuminate the path to a brighter future.